Hi, this is Samina Sheikh here, and with me right now I have the star cast of Andhera, जो काफी light बनाकर यहाँ पर अंधेरा छा रहा है. So join me as I welcome all of them only on Zoom channel.
Hi Samina,
Firstly,
thank
lovely
you.
to have you, पर यहाँ पे काफी light है, तो वो क्या यहाँ पर आ सकता है जो भी जो haunting character है?
यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा.
यहाँ पर नहीं आएगा.
I would beg to differ. वो कहीं भी आ सकता है.
Seriously?
ऐसे
Yes.
बोल, just don't give it away.
ये क्या एक psychological thought है या ये वाकई में ऐसे कुछ होता भी है? I want to know your spooky stories. Like start.
Spooky stories.
Yeah.
सेट पे तो काफी हुई थी हमारे साथ. एक दो तो मेरे साथ पर्सनली हुई थी सेट पे, जो जिस कमरे में मैं शूट कर रहा था. आई थिंक वो जो मेरे कैरेक्टर का जो रूम है, आई थिंक कुछ हुआ होगा पास्ट में वहाँ ऐसा कुछ. मैं जब भी जाता था वहाँ पे, पता नहीं मेरी हार्ट रेट तेज हो जाती थी, पसीने आने शुरू हो जाते थे, ऐसे नौशिया लगता था. तो फिर मैं जाके गौरव के पास आता था, यार ये कहाँ ले आए मुझे तुम लोग. तुम ये जानबूझ के तुमने क्या एक्टिंग निकालने के लिए मेरी यहाँ पे ऐसी. बट देयर वाज समथिंग वेरी वियर्ड अबाउट दैट रूम, यू नो, इन टर्म्स ऑफ इट्स स्मेल. इवन दैट बिल्डिंग वाज अ लिटिल ऑफ. मतलब पर वो रूम तो स्पेसिफिकली ऐसा था कि वो yeah, somewhere waiting for me to like come. And nothing, like even the scenes that we shot there, वो तो थे ही spooky.
Yeah.
But in terms of the vibe also, it was just, it's a place that I would never ever want to go again in my life.
My goodness.
So, and so much so that, you know, we had to take a break of like 45 minutes and be like, you know, let's take a, you know, सब अपनी अपनी वैन में चल जाओ, you know, and फिर बाद में then we came back and shot it. But there was something very eerie about it. So, and once you watch the show also, you know, there's a backstory to that. But I don't know why it happened actually.
What about you, Prajakta?
No, I didn't have any.
No. But ever in your life, like you have ever had such, you know, come across such haunting experiences?
Not really, no. Never had anything that was scary. I mean, also, मैं घर से नहीं निकलती ज़्यादा. I'm always home most of the time. But never, not yet.
Especially, you know, even in the trailer, you know, as I remember, I think she only said that, you know, basically, Mumbai में भी ऐसा यानी कुछ हो सकता है
Right.
times. And honestly, in Mumbai, we always feel like, you know, the life is so busy and all that. But I'll tell you something like what off late I have also discovered, and I just got this labubu out of this
Okay.
entire trending thing. And actually, after having that at my house, I have seen certain things happening.
अरे
I fell sick. I actually like injured my leg.
my God.
My mom fell sick. So I feel like
man.
you don't really know, you know,
My
what could happen, something like that.
And I think what happens, and that's what makes Andhera also interesting, is that Mumbai is a place where you don't necessarily look. You like it's happening. Something could be happening under your nose. You know, something that is so unnoticed. Because we're always in a huff and we're always in a rush and you know, चकाचौंध इतनी है कि आपका ध्यान नहीं जाता कि
So
कुछ
you never
अजीब हो रहा है यहाँ.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely. In fact, during I've never spoken about, but even during Andhera, when we were making it, right, there's a very strange incident that started happening at our place. I think
your
I told
place?
you, yeah, at my place.
Correct.
So there's a glass sliding between the bedroom and the balcony. There's a balcony outside. There's a glass sliding in. We're sleeping at night and suddenly it breaks. Okay, so now fine, I investigate what happened, ये कैसे टूटा. So I'm checking the balcony कि किसी ने पत्थर मारा, किसी ने कुछ किया वहां से. So there is no way that anything can come from out. It broke. Fine. We replaced it the next day. The very next day again, and this happens in the afternoon now. I'm sitting working, my wife is sitting working, my dog is there at home, and suddenly, all three of us go there, it's broken again.
Same one.
Same pane, same glass, and it's not a thin this thing,
Patla
it's the
glass,
proper
yeah.
thick sliding glass. And I called up my landlord. I asked him, has this ever happened before? No, it's not happened before. He was surprised because there is no possibility. ऊपर से कोई weight नहीं आ रहा है जो टूटेगा, and generally it does not crack from the center like that.
Yeah.
But there was never an object, a foreign object that came, hit it, or you know. And this happened 3 times. I had to change it it happened twice. I had to change the glass 3 times.
My goodness.
And it came to a point where then eventually we had to replace the glass with a sort of
Like a plexiglass.
like a laminate this thing, yeah, which won't break. But it's extremely like strange. and I don't know, but it
और
happened.
ट्यून सुन रहे हो पीछे से बज रही है
Yeah.
अभी?
और वो भी ऐसी ट्यून बजी है ना अभी फिलहाल at this moment,
Yeah.
you know.
But that happened. So unexplained things definitely happened, and maybe years later we might find scientific explanation for it. But at that moment, honestly, we tried to find out a lot, but there was no answer.
You should have called Rumi with her paranormal investigation.
I should have. It didn't strike
I
me
would
that
not
way.
enter your house only.
But imagine doing a live and suddenly you just see someone like just passing by kind of a
Oh
thing.
God.
That actually, that is, I would, if I have to have an experience, I'd choose that,
Huh.
because then 20,000 other people have
People can
seen that,
watch it.
Yeah,
and it's on
that's-
record.
But you know, it's very difficult also to capture paranormal activities, you know, basically on camera. But there have been occasions, and I have seen certain, you know, videos even on Instagram where at a hospital, you know, you're seeing someone like just disappearing and like
Right.
some kind of activity which is happening. And
Bells
JJ
ringing
Hospital,
also,
for
yeah.
that matter, is known for such
Wow.
stories and activities,
yeah,
and we hear so much about it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the hospital that, you know, there's a sequence in which where we were shooting, and that building, I remember, you remember that building that we were shooting in? There were a lot of weird deaths that had happened. So
In
much
that
so that in
hospital,
that
so it shut
specific
down.
hospital, that hospital shut down.
And I was like,
Okay.
why would you choose this hospital to
And
shoot in?
Huh.
and it had a very eerie vibe, that place.
But yeah, this is one thing. This a lot of crew, like, a lot of like crew members and stuff, including Priyanka, etc. They told me that it's very unsettling. So everyone started. You know, many a time what happens is when you're so tired because it's a grueling schedule, right?
Yeah.
So when you're tired and you're so this thing, you kind of tend to just go away somewhere, either for
Find a
cup of
quiet corner.
chai or
Yeah.
smoke or whatever. People stopped doing that so that people could just stay
Huddle.
huddle together, and this was a big thing in the whole hospital
Yeah.
schedule.
And you won't believe, right outside my van, there used to be like 10-15 cats at the same time.
Okay.
It was really weird. Like 10-15, you know, different.
Maybe
different-
you parked your van in their house.
Yeah, maybe.
She's still positive about it
But
because,
it's
you know,
it
she
was a
doesn't want that
hospital.
thought to come in.
हाँ, तो मतलब वो तो मतलब they just used to be outside the door, and like so much so that, you know, everyone used to be like, "Yeah, what are you attracting?"
But I remember like doing such interviews, you know, and where people have spoken about, you know, such ghostly chapters. Even Vicky Kaushal has spoken, you know, about it. And I remember like one of the actors also, you know, saying that, you know, they were shooting at Mahim in the middle of the road, and suddenly like that guy literally saved himself from an accident. So such things happen and you don't really know. And I'm sure like when you're on the set also, you don't really know what spirits are there around you.
True.
Because I do feel that, you know, apart from humans, there are people who do exist. And I keep on reading also just haunting stories. So I've gotten more interested when talking about your character, you know, how it was for you to kind of get into that character.
It was a lot of fun, actually. Also very, very exciting, very new. I mean, at the soul of Rumi only, she's so different from anything that I have been. I mean, other than both of us are content creators, but beyond that, it's nothing that I could find in common with her, which actually got very exciting because the experiences that she lives or she has lived in the past that motivate her behavior and her reactions to stimuli in the present have been very different, very, very new. Got to learn a lot, got to step out of my comfort zone. Many scenes that were very, very uncomfortable, but at the same time, very exciting and very new. So definitely learned a lot with her. And I think the fact that the floor was always so open to communication, where I could always go to Gaurav with my questions, I could go to Raghav sir, I could go to Karan, I could go to Priyanka, who was on set as well all the time, and they would always have the answers for me. So that made my process of building Rumi up in my mind quite easy.
Yeah.
And then again, when we're in the scene, getting to work with Karan, getting to work with Priya, so that again, it became a very enriching experience in a very new way. Like I've never been in these surroundings, you know, you don't really find yourself in the middle of a haunted hospital.
Yeah.
You don't really find yourself in the middle of a park, which looks so eerie with the way that Chang, who's our DOP, has lit it up with
Yeah,
one swing
absolutely.
moving. You don't find yourself in mud looking up at one window where you see someone. Like you don't.
Yeah.
And hopefully I will never. So very exciting. And I think I'm really looking forward to an honest reaction from the audience when the show does come out.
Plus, this has been your, I think, first time, you're kind of getting into this genre completely.
100%, yeah.
Like horror is not something which you have explored as such.
I've not watched also that much.
Acha.
No, मुझे बहुत डर लगता है. I haven't watched.
Are you planning to watch Andhera like
Oh,
probably
100%.
at an Andhera time?
No. I'm doing a watch party at my house with my closest friends because I need more than at least 6 to 7 people around me to watch this. So yeah,
Yeah.
I will watch it, but with like full lights.
Yeah, I remember I'd asked her, let's go to haunted places. Let's make like a reel together. She's like, I'm not gonna come.
I
You
said,
go, mate.
you go. I'm
I
not
can't go
coming.
to haunted places.
So see,
and stuff.
that is the reason you have kind of like guarded yourself, So that's why you may have not experienced, certain things.
Yeah.
Like he
हाँ.
experienced in a way, I feel.
Yeah. मैं तो
Maybe.
शो में भी एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा हूँ ऐसे भी करता रहता हूँ.
But this genre itself, when we speak about horror, it's very difficult to also kind of like how to make people laugh is difficult.
Yeah.
Equally to make them believe कि ऐसे हो सकता है.
Right.
Or these theories can
Yeah.
happen. Not
Yeah.
everyone is like in that zone
Absolutely.
के नहीं अरे ये हो ही सकता है types.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
everyone would like to buy it.
Hmm.
How it was for you, like basically kind of working throughout.
So what happens is I myself I tend to gravitate towards stories that are familiar, stories that I can relate to in terms of, because I'm also a horror junkie. So if the horror is too distant, कहीं किसी हवेली में कहीं कुछ हो रहा है
हाँ.
और या फिर ऐसे कैरेक्टर को हो रहा है जो एक्चुअली कैरेक्टर कभी एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं कर
या कोई
सकता,
fictional
हाँ,
जगह
तो
पे.
ना वो डर कम हो जाता है फिर.
Yeah.
बट वो अगर ऐसी जगहों में हो रहा है जहाँ जहाँ मैं और आप रोज जाते हैं,
हाँ.
योर बिल्डिंग लिफ्ट, योर अपार्टमेंट, योर बिल्डिंग लॉबी,
Yeah.
योर बैकयार्ड ऑफ बिल्डिंग, these kind of things, roads that we go to which are empty at night, these kind of places, then that horror becomes really relatable, and then it also kind of stays longer with you after watching something,
Yeah.
because those things are very you see, you feel, you sense them every day.
Yeah.
So I feel that's, for me, that I believe that is the way to go, making horror also as relatable as possible. That's what we do with drama, right? Eventually, so, and then it'll work. It'll scare people. It'll stay with people.
Prajakta, for you recently also confessed that writing has been a difficult task also, though you have gotten into, writing, you have been into scripting and all. Do you feel even storytelling, to kind of interest the people to kind of hear your story is equally difficult?
In every form. I think also because today, most of your audience has such a short attention span, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a report saying that it's 1.3 seconds is all you get for a reel or a YouTube short. If you can't engage in that much time, they've scrolled past you. That's very tiny. That's very small a time for you to tell a story. So I think in every form, फिर उसको filmmaking समझ लो, book समझ लो, blogging समझ लो, vlogging समझ लो, journaling, जो भी है, even if it's your Instagram captions, any form of storytelling that you're trying to make, I think is a very difficult art form.
To both of you, I want to ask that does it become exhausting also, as content creators, trying to kind of live up to what people want? Because while you said like the attention span is less, people don't even know after a point what they really want to see.
Yeah.
They just kind of like, we are doom scrolling. So many
Yeah.
times we're just doom scrolling. We just see and we're like, oh, we relate to this.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of work on those parameters to kind of make the audience interested in your content?
See, like I come from a theater background, and having met Prajakta, having seen the kind of things that she does, I've never even tried to dabble into the content creation thing, because I honestly feel it's very challenging. It's like, and I have a lot of respect for people who create their own stuff and put themselves out there.
Yeah.
I feel when you're acting, you still have that garb of a character. You're backed by a story, you're backed by a production house. So, you still have a lot of safety net.
Yeah.
But as a content creator, I feel
Individual.
it's just you and the audience. There is nothing in between. There is no layer. Everything is shared. So that's the reason why I have never dabbled into that, because I personally don't have that courage, and I don't think that's something that I'll be able to pull off. So I've stayed away from it because I feel like acting somewhere I'm more comfortable with and I can explore this. And so that's why, like kudos to someone like Prajakta who can do both. Because I think it's a hard job, man. Seriously.
True. What about you, Prajakta? Do you feel the same?
Going to what you said about like the audience today not knowing what they want to watch, there is a silver lining to that. There is a reason why India is one of the toughest audience for most people to crack.
Yeah.
Because there is an audience for everything. There is absolutely no way you can predict a trend. There is absolutely no way you can tell what's going to work, what's not going to work. And that actually could be a fun space to be in. Because then you get that many tries to keep doing and trying newer things. You get that much space to experiment and have that trial and error, like a process to keep going on. Because even when you start as a creator, it's not like आपने काम शुरू किया और 15-20 वीडियोस में आपको समझ में आ गया क्या चल रहा है. Because as much as you evolve, the platform evolves, your audience is growing up, newer audiences is coming, older audiences are leaving. So because it's so volatile, I don't think we ever kind of get settled in one place. I remember 2-3 years ago, I reached a point where I suddenly started realizing that I want to do more than the comedy sketches that I was doing. Now, that didn't necessarily come from a place of just the views dropping or just my subscribers stalling. It also came from a place of me realizing that I'm not able to innovate anything more beyond what I've done for 8 years now. That's when I started writing more. Now, I didn't know if anyone will end up buying my book.
AC.
Andhera.
Yeah, Andhera.
I didn't know if anyone would even read my book or buy my book. But then the way that the book did, touch wood, that changed how I was planning going ahead. I honestly didn't think that I would get opportunities to be an actor. Say, huge OTT platforms like a Prime Video, huge production houses like an Excel would actually look at me beyond what I had put myself out there for. So everything keeps changing so much. I feel like you can find peace in knowing that you are never going to get it right. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because nobody really knows what they're doing. It's okay to not completely have grip, because then that leaves a little bit space for you to also try newer things, to also dabble in stuff. Most times it works and other times it teaches you. So it's fine.
And lastly, to all of you, upcoming projects you all are focusing on, apart from, being in the Andhera side of the life.
Well, I'm shooting for a film next, which I'm really excited about. I start shooting in September, and I think it's also one of those projects that you just do out of love. And I can't talk much about it because but yeah, there is a film which is that I'm going to shoot soon for. Yeah.
What about you, Prajakta?
I'm working on my second book. I'm also I start shooting a film this month. Is this August? Yeah. I start shooting a film this month, which is again very different from anything I have ever done before. And I finished shooting another show. I finished shooting 2 shows, and then we go into a very anticipated season.
Wow,
of another show.
What about you, sir?
Writing something in an interesting, similar space, but you'll see, you'll know soon.
Remember that?
I'll send my audition tape. My audition tape.
Andhera in your life.
Oh, absolutely.
But lovely chatting with all of you, and
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. And
Thank you.
hoping not to experience anything spooky after this.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
too.
no promises. We
Don't-
can't.
Promises.
Don't keep labubus, I would
Yeah,
say.
really. Yeah, actually, Labu is out of the.
Dude, Bharti also did that, no?
Yeah.
Bharti,
Yeah.
she also burned her son's labubu because
Weird things are
I don't know, weird things started happening. I mean,
Weird
I read
things are
this on
happening for
a
sure. Yeah,
page.
I
so
felt
I
it
don't know.
so. Yeah.
But it looks it only, yeah.
Yeah, the face itself, like, it's very weird.
Yeah.
But lovely chatting with all of you. Thank you so
Likewise.
much
Thank
for lovely
you.
time and all the very best.
Thank you,
you so
Samina.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.